Alright, hello and welcome to Echoes of Color with Jefferey Morrison. How's it going? Alright, we're going to do a whip and chat here with the Battle Ahead by LOTR Dietrich, 60 centimeters by 45 centimeters, 47 colors, square drill on double-sided mounted adhesive. I keep saying that, but oh well. Just what I wrote down. I'll put a picture around here for the giggles, just so you know what the canvas looks like. But yeah, other than that, how's it going? Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. Number 23, doing lowercase a. Alright, so yeah, I'm done work for this week. McDonald's and PCI. So I have this weekend off, and then all next week I'm working. So yeah, see how that goes. Alright, hopefully you're having tons of fun. Hopefully your crafting is going well and other fun stuff. Alright, we're gonna lowercase here, a here, another blue. But yeah, should be good. Yeah, reading first Game of Thrones on the treadmill. I think I remember mentioning this. Yeah, finally getting through that. Finally diving in. Wonder if I can get like a map of Westeros, just so I understand what is going on. You know, I like maps. I like world maps, so yeah, I think there's a couple maps of Westeros around. Yeah, when you're reading epic fantasy, it's kind of nice to see like a world map, just to kind of get an idea of where the characters are and all that. Especially Game of Thrones, because I think everybody's like separated to an extent. I think they meet every once in a while, but yeah, Westeros is huge. Yeah, only in the first book too, and just tons of stuff happens. Has happened already. It's just like, whoa. Oh, pretty cool so far. I wanted to get into it. Wanted to get into Game of Thrones. So I'm glad I did now. Yeah, I can appreciate it a lot more. Alright, so this is kind of confetti for the lowercase a here. Just basically background for this part, this section in particular. Yeah, it's pretty wet outside. There's pretty big puddles on our front lawn. Just have to watch out for orcas, and they're cracking. Some of these puddles here, holy. Yeah. Yeah, I bet you there's a moat around, yeah, the fire pit. Yeah, it's kind of looking like it. Yep. Yeah, we do have like culverts around the highway, not hallway. Yeah, there's a ditch around the highway there. We don't own the highway property. There's just like a good patch of grass on our 1.5 acres that we cut, maintain anyway, but it's not technically our property. Yeah, there's a culvert right by the highway on both sides. So we get drainage there, but for in some parts of our lawn, it's just puddles. It's just saturated with water. Yeah, it happens all the time. And the winter melt too. Yeah, the snow melted again. So for the most part, I think there's snow by the fire pit still. Yeah, it's a nice little bank there. But other than that, it's technically spring right now, so here in Ontario, or Canada. But yeah, spring is yet again a transitional season, so we'll see how this goes. Nothing too eventful otherwise. Yeah, started the Great Wall of China with a friend of mine, like for the Conqueror Challenge. Made a team, so working on that with them. Yeah, 3,600 and something kilometers. I don't know what that is in miles, but yeah, you can measure in miles as well for the Conqueror Challenge. Still working my way through Middle Earth. 200 and something kilometers left in the Eye of Sauron. Then I have to walk into Mordor and like finish that Lord of the Rings thing. Virtual walking challenge, that is. Yeah, again there. Just doing it day by day, doing what I can. Too excited. I wanted to start the Great Wall challenge with a friend of mine, so yeah, just logging my kilometers off of a separate app and then inputting that data into the Conqueror app for now. Yeah, I'm still doing the Eye of Sauron, so I'm using the app, or the health app on the iPhone to log those kilometers for that challenge. So oh yeah, it's another gray day, but there's a bit of wind in the air. I think we're getting a storm system. Fog is trying to come in. It is a little misty. Silent Hill. But yeah. Just a good day to diamond paint, basically. I guess NASA's selecting astronauts to go on a rocket to orbit around the moon, or yeah. Okay. Is that all they're doing? They're just going to orbit around the moon and come back? That kind of seems odd, but anyway. Saw that article on Facebook. Of course, I just read the headline and I'm just kind of like, okay, yep. Yeah. I don't know why. have satellites and all that. We have like these deep space satellites that are taking photos of stuff, but apparently need to orbit around the moon just for the giggles, I guess. I have no clue. Oh. Something I'll probably never understand why, but oh, it's what it is. I'm sure a few generations down the road we'll be living in space, but yeah, we're just scratching the surface of possibly being in space, like colonizing. But mere science fiction, but maybe eventually. I don't know, next 100 years maybe. I can't really speculate. Don't know too much about space exploration at this point. I just hear blurbs every now and then. Kind of an interesting idea. Like, the photos are really cool. Like, seeing planets and stuff. Just space in its entirety, but, well, not entirety, but it's getting some pretty cool nebula pictures. Yeah, just like that kind of space atmosphere. But yeah, that whole possibly human beings being in space on like colony ships, kind of like The Expanse. Science fiction where space is basically colonized throughout the series. Oh, I've talked about The Expanse, and yeah, reading The Expanse, science fiction stuff based in the distant future where people are like living on Mars, and yeah, you can like fly to the moon or whatever. There's fast ways to get there. Yeah, Luna, I think it's called, or something. There's various names for the planets that are colonized. Yeah, science fiction is kind of like speculation and perfect. Like, loosely based on scientific fact or real life facts. And then there's a creative spin added onto it. But it could be plausible. Yeah, that's kind of how science fiction works. You can kind of stretch your imagination a bit to make it suspension of belief or something, whatever that's called. Yeah, just facts about something, and then they're just kind of elaborated based on what the science fiction author wants to do in their universe. Yeah, because like in high fantasy, you really have to describe the world and with words. So yeah, you kind of have to slap a lot of detail into an ongoing narrative. Tell a story yet describe the universe that the characters are in or a part of. Tricky to do, but yeah, it can be done.
think there's a small amount of space that's like charted by satellites, like kind of like three-dimensional diagrams of the universe. But yeah, that's thanks to satellites just hurtling through space, sending information back. Just imagine the amount of broken satellites or rocket parts just floating in space. There's like a ton of material orbiting around the Earth, I'd imagine. Broken satellites and stuff. Or like just communication satellites and all that. Just orbiting the planet. I don't know, like space is infinite, like outer space, that is. I don't know if it's infinite or finite. Oh, if it's constantly expanding or starting to collapse, I have no clue. I've heard different things over the years. But yeah, just live on planet Earth, so I think that's all we should be concerned about for the moment. Yeah, just make sure Earth is habitable to the human race for a few more generations at least, like a few more centuries, 100 years. Century is like 100 years, yeah, or millennium, 1,000. I don't know. That eventually, yeah, probably be in deep space, but anyone living now probably won't see a human living now. But yeah, it's fun to kind of speculate and see what could happen in the distant future. And that's kind of why I like science fiction too. Yeah, you can make like just vast universes where people are just like chilling on an asteroid or something, like just or in a big colony ship, just hurtling through space. It's like you're just on a cruise ship, but just in space, kind of thing. Yeah, some of that on The Expanse. Giant cruise colony ships just going through space. Yeah, I think they have like hyperdrive or something in there in the books as well, because they probably wouldn't. Anybody that's like flying in space and the expanse, like stuff would take forever to happen in those books if they weren't like just hurtling through space without some sort of hyper travel or light speed or whatever. But yeah, it's managed in The Expanse. You just kind of go along with that kind of thing. Like, space is just like huge in general, and then in the books they're like in there with on a distant planet or in a different galaxy or whatever in like a week or so or something. Yeah, and they travel like really fast, and then yeah, the narrative just like carries on as if that's like normal. Yeah. Yeah, there's communication delays to planet kind of thing that's portrayed in The Expanse there, and I'm sure other science fiction. I just really know of The Expanse for space opera so far. I do have Dune. Like, I do have some books in the Dune series, but that's like an entirely different subject matter. To my recollection, I've heard of Dune, but I don't know exactly 100% what it's about. To an extent, yeah, totally different subject matter though. Yeah, I think it's just like made up planets in space, but yeah, I think what starts as a single planet affair, some sort of resource or something on in the Dune universe on a certain desert planet or whatever. Yeah, it becomes so much more than that. I think as the story goes on. I haven't even seen any of the Dune movies, like the original old one. Yeah. Heard it wasn't the best movie ever for a book adaptation to a movie, book to movie, but yeah, that don't know too much about that Dune movie either. They did do like a reboot, new one recently for Dune. I'm not sure if that one's any better, but yeah, stick with the book, I think. Yeah, I think Dune's a series that's probably pretty technical, high detail, highly descriptive. Oh, excuse me. So I'll see if I can get into it. Let's start with Dune. I think there's like a certain order to read the books in, but I don't know. There are some websites online where you can, if there's a book series, you can look up the order of how to read a book series. Yeah, I could just go by that. I think I've looked up the Dune series a few times, wanting to get into it, but yeah. I don't know, because there's story before the events of Dune, like before the first book. There's like prequel stuff. Just even more history about the universe of Dune. Yeah, but for people who enjoy heavy detail, it's like a full fleshed out epic kind of world building stuff. Yeah, I think Dune is one of those science fiction space opera series that, yeah, would engage readers. Or if people can probably listen to it via audiobook as well. I'm sure that's quite a sit through. But yeah. Oh, it's just nice to dive in and be engaged with a long, drawn out adventure than like a 200-page just casual novel. Well, that 200 or so page kind of different genre non-science fiction novel is nice every once in a while, but yeah, I don't know, it just like heavy detail stuff, epic fantasy, yeah. But yeah, it's nice to kind of cleanse the palate, the reading palate, every once in a while with just like a small, quick read. I do that every once in a while. So, yeah, not everybody's going to dive into science fiction, high fantasy. Not everybody likes that kind of stuff. Like, high fantasy or science fiction are generally like 600 or 700 page books around there, like just really meaty tomes that are interesting to hold. I like holding onto a physical book, so that's just me. But yeah, there's and something that's like 700 or 800 pages can just be like the start of a story too. Like a lot can happen. And even just like a chapter of one of these books, like it's just possibilities. You can have with certain characters and situations in a science fiction universe. Yeah. There's always another story. I've heard that a lot. But yeah. Oh. I've looked up like other space opera stuff, and yeah. You have like the Children of Time. Yeah, I think I picked that up at like a book sale fundraiser thing here in town. A couple months ago. It was like a brand new like copy of the Children of Time. So it's interesting. I don't know. There are tons of different stuff to read, like different genres and stuff. Doesn't mean I'm stuck in high fantasy and science fiction by any means. Not really one for nonfiction though. There are some exceptions. Like I've read some nonfiction, but I don't know. I rather it's kind of my escapism for fantasy and science fiction books. The In Death series based on the future, but futuristic mystery, suspense, romance. Yeah, I read those. Those are kind of my cleansing palette kind of books. A few hundred pages, but still pretty cool. But anyway, you've been watching Echoes of Color with Jeffery Morrison. Down below in the description, I put my Facebook profile name, my Echoes of Color Facebook business page. It's really just a website within Facebook. And my Instagram. All three I try to update simultaneously. Usually just section completions, just progress photos from Heck Was a Color here. Just basically social media companion to the YouTube channel here. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, my personal Facebook, yeah, I share a lot of nature photography kind of photos, so that's basically my news feed or profile page there. But yeah, other than that, my Instagram and Facebook business page are basically companions to Heck Was a Color on here on YouTube, so feel free to check that out, any of that out, if you want to follow. Totally up to you. They're just there. I update them regardless. And I post walking challenge information websites down below. I'm not affiliated or partnered. Conqueror, Lord of the Rings, and the Great Wall now. And Pacer is Silk Road trading route in China, 3,800 kilometers or something. But anyway, take care. All the best with your crafting endeavors and hobbies. Thank you for watching, and yeah, see you again soon. Bye.